never seen one of these in a cemetery. We're going to review all of the graves that are in the cemetery because they are very old. And then we'll step inside this grave shelter. It's called a grave shelter, but it is extremely unusual, not just because it has walls. Most grave shelters don't. They're just a covering over the grave, but also because it covers the graves of a family, multiple burials, not just one grave. And it's believed that this shelter, the Hope Family Grave Shelter, is the only one of its kind in Alabama. This stone simply says Atkinson. There are no names or dates. This is a burial place, though, because you can see, well, it may not show up on the camera, but the ground has sunk in a little where the casket would be. But Atkinson is the name of the community where this cemetery is located. This is an old marker. It's very difficult to make out, but I think I'm reading it correctly. It says Annie, wife of S.W. Murley Jr., born, looks like June the 4th, 1878, and died July the 5th, 1908. It's very difficult to read what's written at the bottom for the inscription. Okay, this is in memory of Harriet Davis, beloved wife of B.W. Murley, born January 17th, 1884, and died December 2nd, maybe, or 26th, 1902. This is a marker that has succumbed to the elements over time. It's broken, it's very difficult to read. I can't see any dates on it, but it does say, sacred to the memory of John Stephen. I can't make out anything else on the stone. This is an older stone that has an inscription that sometimes confuses people. This is Martha. She is the consort of John Gildersleeve. The only dates I can make out, it looks like born in 1808 and died in 1869. But it's the word consort that seems to confuse a lot of people. Some people believe that that means that this was the mistress of, or that maybe they presented as husband and wife but were never married. That's not what this means. Actually, consort means that when she died, her husband was still living. And that was a very common inscription to use during this time period. Now beside her, I'm trying to be very careful not to step on these graves. This is John Gildersleeve, born 1791. I'm looking for a death date. Okay, and he died in 1873. There's a smaller stone beside them. This looks like Rosa. Born in 1879 and died in 1882. This marker has obviously tumbled. I'm going to see if I can read part of it. No, sacred to the memory of Samuel Kennedy, 1855. This is another marker that has tumbled. This says sacred to the memory of Mary Kennedy, born, looks like 1800 and died in 1854. And here's the rest of the marker that has fallen over. This is a grave that has completely crumbled. I have no idea who this belonged to. Again, you can see this as a Christian burial site because of the way the markers are facing east. Okay, these are much newer, much easier to read. This marker is for Danny A. Ball, born October 10th, 1880, and died November 19th, 1945. The inscription says, "An honest man is the noblest work of God." And you can see this, it has a Mason symbol at the top. This is Danny's wife, Kitty Wisenhunt, wife of Danny A. Ball, born February 18th, 1886, and died June 23rd, 1965. She gave her today for our tomorrow. And at the top there appears to be an inscription for Order of the Eastern Star. The slab has just completely crumbled, and folks, you'll have to forgive my shadow if it creeps in here. Again, we're facing east near a train track. This is for Daniel Ball, born March 9th, 1845, and died August 19th, 1925. This is also a part of a marker. I can't make anything out on it, but it does appear that someone is buried here. This is George M. Steed. He's a World War I veteran, born July 11th, 1894, died February 22nd, 1966. Beside him, Thomas A. Steed, born December 30th, 1857, died May 14th, 1941. It says, a devoted husband, a dedicated father, a loyal friend, and a Christian gentleman. Here we have Emma C., wife of Thomas Steed, born September 5th, 1860, died August 27th, 1896, and infant daughter of T.A. and E.C., which would be Thomas A. and Emma C. Steed. As a wife devoted, as a mother affectionate, as a friend ever kind and true. And beside her is Emma C. Steed, born August 13, 1896, died June 25th, 1982. And I also want to point out that there is a Daughters of the American Revolution marker here. And also infant son of Frank O. and Leila P. Lowry, June 1914. Okay, this is a fenced-in section on this particular cemetery. You can see that the iron fence has rusted. I don't know if the gate is working. I'm certainly not going to climb the fence this morning, but it appears that someone has cleaned it up recently, so I believe that the gate is probably working, but let's take a look. You can see this is the mechanism. You just squeeze it and it is opening. Okay. Oh, that was a creepy sound. Okay, you can see at the threshold it says Hope. So we do know that this is the Hope family plot. So let's see who's buried here. This is a very large memorial here, so this was a prominent family. And forgive my shadow, again, these are Christian burials. They do face east, and it is a sunny morning. This is Robert Milton Hope, born October 4th, 1857, and died February 26th, 1934. Beside him, probably his wife. I may have to get a little closer to be able to read this one. This is Lucy Crawford Hope, beloved wife of Robert Milton Hope, born February 4th, 1862, died March 18th, 1946. I'm trying to be very respectful and not step on any of these graves. Beside her is Leona Crawford Hope, born August 15th, 1889, and died October 23rd, 1907. So this was a young woman, only 18 years old. This looks like Ludi Hope, born April 6th, 1887, and died March 19th, 1907. Okay, this one is very difficult to read, but it is a child's grave. It's Robert M., who is the son of Robert Milton and Lucy Crawford Hope. Born, it looks like 1891 maybe, and died in 1897. It's pretty difficult to read. Beside young Robert, we have Vera. Vera was the daughter of Robert Milton and Lucy Hope, born in 1897 or 1892. No, it's 1897, and died in 1897. And the last one in this particular family section is Archibald. Archibald Crawford Hope, born in 1896 and died in 1899. This was also the son of Robert Milton and Lucy Crawford Hope. This marker is for Joseph Houston, who was born in 1806 and died in 1853 or 52. And this is Martha Houston, born in 1820 and died in 1855. And you can see that the top of her marker has toppled over, but the inscription is on the back and on the base or the middle section, and it's still legible. And beside them is a marker, I believe this is for Catherine Houston. She was born in 1843 and died in 1848. Now beside her, it looks like there's another marker. Of course, this is all that's remaining. This marker has completely crumbled. The only name I can make out on it is Euphronia. I can't tell anything else about it, but it is on the, looks like on the north side of the Hope Grave Shelter. I'm going to back up and give you a good view of the grave shelter. We'll take a walk around it, and oh, there's a wasp nest up there. And then we'll see if we can get inside. But this is the north side. Very unique structure. Most grave shelters, if you've ever seen one, they are fairly rare. They have a roof, but they don't have walls. This one has walls. It also has lattice work windows, as you can see. This is the west side. The other unique thing about this particular grave shelter is that it houses more than one grave. Most of them only cover one grave, and they only have the roof. This has walls, and it has multiple graves inside. This is the south side, and we will go in and see. Well, we're going to see if we can get in. This is the east side, and this is where the door is. is a short door. Oh, it looks like we can. It's pretty dark in here. I hope I can read the inscriptions. You can see we are beginning to see some age. This was built in 1853. You'll note the vaulted ceiling. And on the north end, we have this inscription, AD 1853. This cable is where someone has come in and tried to stabilize the structure. This is on the National Register of Historic Places. Now there's a board missing in the back. I'm going to try to give you a good shot of the graves here. Then we'll go back and then we'll read the names on them. Because these markers have been protected from the elements, they are very easy to read. This is Archibald Hope. Born May 20th. Looks like 1823. And died September 26th, 1850. The next marker is very, very unusual because this large marker actually belongs to a small child. This is John Allison Hope, who was born October 1855 and died in October 1856. 1 year and 22 days. The third marker, which is covered with dirt daubers, unfortunately. This is for Margaret Hope, who was born November 20th, 1797, and died May 1851, or 1851. Here we have a double headstone. The first name, this is John Hope, born October 3rd, 1791, and died April 6th, 1868. Try to be very careful not to step on the graves. And Sarah Jane Powell, born July 7th, 1829, and died on her birthday, July 7th, 1885. And the last grave that's in this grave shelter, again, it's a very large memorial, got some discoloration on it now. This is for Jane A. Hope, who was born in February. Let me get a little closer to get the date. Let's see, February 9th, 1813, and departed this life on November 22nd, 1852. Thank you for joining me on this tour of the Airmount Cemetery and the Hope Family Cemetery and the Hope Grave Shelter. If you like these type of videos, please like and subscribe. And let me know if there are other cemeteries in Southwest Alabama you would like for me to do a video of. Thank you so much. Bye.